Joe Biden and Kamala Harris routinely say we should be listening to the scientists. Check out this August 2020 ABC News interview on whether we should shut down the entire economy again.
So if the scientists say shut it down?
I would shut it down. I would listen to the scientists.
Keep that in mind. Here now is a statement by Dr. Anthony Fauci just prior to that ABC News interview.
That would not require shutting down again. There seems to be a misperception that either you shut down completely and damage a lot of things, mental health, the economy, all kinds of things, or let it rip and do whatever you want.
So are Biden and Harris really listening to the scientists? And aren't they also complaining about the economy being shut down by Trump?
Almost half of American renters are worried about whether they're going to be able to pay rent by the end of the month.
And look at where the high unemployment is. Much of this list scrolling is made up of Democratic states. It also includes the home states of Harris and Biden. The Democratic ticket has used any opportunity they get to blame Trump for lives lost in the pandemic.
200,000 deaths.
Now let's go all the way back to April when there were these charts predicting up to 2.2 million COVID-related deaths.
In their estimates, they had between 1.5 million and 2.2 million people in the United States succumbing to this virus without mitigation. And it takes us to that stippled mountain that's much lower, a hill actually, down to 100 to 200,000 deaths, which is still way too much.
So does that mean we've lost around 80% less than expected? Here's Dr. Anthony Fauci a few weeks later in a June 2020 podcast for Health and Human Services.
If you look at the data, now that papers have come out literally 2 days ago, the fact that we shut down when we did and the rest of the world did has saved hundreds of millions of infections and millions of lives.
In the vice presidential debate, Mike Pence points out that there were reasons for the massive amount of cases avoided and lives saved. One was a February travel ban on China put into place by the administration. Now, Pence also wanted us to know that any plan Biden has had smells awfully funny.
The reality is, when you look at the Biden plan, it reads an awful lot like what President Trump and I and our task force have been doing every step of the way. I mean, quite frankly, when I look at their plan that talks about advancing testing, creating new PPE, developing a vaccine, it looks a little bit like plagiarism, which is something Joe Biden knows a little bit about.
Frank McCaffrey reporting for Americans for Limited Government.